Hiya, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Now you know that I put out videos every Tuesday. I don't like missing a Tuesday, but it's very difficult to put out an extra video during the week. Occasionally I've managed it, but it is a lot of work. Now I would really like to put out 2 videos a week. And as my husband has started editing for me, he's doing the basics, but he has taken that time. So I've got a little bit of time left in the week. So hopefully with that time that I've gained back, I'm now going to fill with another video. I'm going to call it a Friday knockout. It's going to be less refined. It's going to be probably shorter, but it will still be great content with a bit of luck. So this is the first of the Friday knockout videos, and it's a spin-off from one I did a couple of weeks ago. So this is the first of my no-frill videos. It's basic content and hopefully it will enable me to get 2 videos out a week. I'm going to start by putting some silicone inlays that I make and sell on toonpish.com into the wax seal stamp frames. I'll link the video in the top right hand corner. That was the first time I used these. And I have them sitting on an old piece of silicone. I'm then going to cover these inlays with hot glue. Now this is the reverse of what I did a few weeks ago. I did make this video pretty much straight after the other one, but I haven't had a chance to get it out, so sorry it's taken a little while. But this is the reversed technique to the first one that I made. Before I put the wax seal stamp into the hot glue to create a mould from the wax seal stamp. These are the inlays that I actually make from wax seal stamps. And I thought it would be good to do it the other way around so that we could make little pieces that are the actual design of the inlays, if you catch my drift. It does work better with 3D inlays, however. I do have a lot of inlays that are quite flat and the 3D ones are definitely better. Once the hot glue has completely cooled down, it's time to take the inlays out and I am left with a very sweet recess to pour some resin in. As I found out last time, it's always better to really let the hot glue cool down before you try removing anything from it, however. I love that little swan and the little mould that comes from it is adorable. This is a quick and simple idea to make moulds from silicone inlays. The hot glue works wonders, and although I have a couple of bubbles, it's nothing really to write home about. So I have my moulds, I need to colour them. So I'm going to use some pigments from Emma the Tiny Turner. I am selling these on toonpish.com and these are a few of her newer colours and they are absolutely stunning colours. Very beautiful, especially the alchemy, the purples. It's just gorgeous. I am very proud to be a stockist of her colours. They are the higher end of the market, but boy are they gorgeous. So I'm going to colour the hot glue moulds. I do go a little overboard with the mica on these pieces. I don't think hot glue moulds work exactly the same as a silicone mould. But once I squirt the isopropyl alcohol in, that enables me to put more colour in. Now, I think perhaps I did go, like I said, a little overboard with the colour. But the colours are stunning. They really are beautiful. With the swan, I know you don't get green swans, but I'm going to use the alchemy. And I'm just putting the mica powder inside the little recess of the mould. Squirting it with isopropyl alcohol to make sure it falls into all those little nooks and crannies. And look at it sparkle. That mica is just so bright and vibrant. Now this one is wicker. It's not my favourite colour, but it has its place. It's kind of a gold green. And I definitely put too much mica in this one. You'll see what happened to it later. It kind of formed little lumps. Now I'm going to use some UV resin, and I'm using Estoyo UV resin for this. It's quite thick. Quite a high consistency, and I figured that it would be really cool for this little application. The higher the viscosity, the thicker the resin. That means it takes a little bit more effort to squeeze it from the container. And actually there isn't much resin left in this container because I've used quite a lot of it. So I'm kind of waiting for it to run down to the nib as well. Once I've got it into my mould, I didn't want to overfill because I want it up to the edge of the little mould areas. The swan needed a little bit more, and so did the flower, but I was trying to get rid of any bubbles that could be there also. Of course, any bubbles that are actually in the mould are going to transfer to the resin, so I can't do anything about that now, but I can stop any resin bubbles on the back, if you see what I mean. And then I pop them under the lamp for 5 minutes. And again, I did leave them for quite some time to cool down before I tried to demould them. So although I've just taken them out of the lamp, they've been sitting on there for a good 20 minutes cooling down. Because resin heats up when it is curing, and that is going to affect the hot glue. Once they completely cool down, then I can take them out. Now this is where I find out that the mica was far too much in that mould, and the high viscosity resin didn't pick everything up. A lower viscosity would have picked up more, but it still coloured the resin, and it's just surface, that's all. The surface has a little extra mica on it, but I'm going to clean that off. Now the swan, obviously I did it the right amount because there was nothing that came off the swan at all. Once it popped out the mould, it was completely covered and the mica stayed where it was. No issues with that at all. Very sweet though. And the bow obviously had a little bit too much mica also. So I just decided to give them a bath with isopropyl alcohol and a soft fluffy brush and get off any residue mica that wasn't attached to the resin. Whenever you try anything new, there's always a bit of a learning curve, isn't there? And this is a little bit of a learning curve for me, as I've never tried making hot glue moulds with inlays before. Now I know, and hopefully so do you. And as you can see, the swan, the only colour coming off is the purple that I have actually on the brush from the previous one. Nothing came off that swan. And once I'd got rid of the little surface mica on the paw, the rest just stayed where it was, and it gave it a kind of rustic look. And then I gave the little moulds a bit of a clean with isopropyl alcohol and a cotton bud. There was a little residue left, but I'm sure I could use them again, so I'm going to try more or less the same colours and just do a light touch this time of mica and see what we get with the results of this one. No alcohol to make it run into the areas, just a light dusting on the hot glue mould. It doesn't pick up mica like a silicone mould does. It doesn't hold onto it like a silicone mould does, which is why I used the alcohol in the first place. But it might be okay. We won't know until we've tried it. I changed the colour on the paw. There was a little of the wicker colour left in the mould, and I thought I'd change the colour completely to see what happened. Again, I'm using the same resin, doing exactly the same as I did before. If you have any questions or comments about this video or any of my other videos, please do leave a comment in the section below. I try really hard to answer every comment. Everything I use in this video will be linked in the description box below. And if I've missed anything, then just let me know. And if you're looking for discounts, they will be linked in the description box also. And you can always go to toonpish.com and find all my discount codes. Once that's done, they go under the lamp for 5 minutes. So again, I've let these cool down properly so they can be demoulded easier from the hot glue moulds. And I think they've come out really quite sweet. The colours aren't as bright and vibrant as the other ones, but they're definitely coloured, and those colours are bright anyway. Now this was UV resin. Of course, if I'd used 2-part epoxy resin, I could have got a different result again. But I'm really happy with my little hot glue moulds. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this little extra video. Come back and see me next week, because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I never know what I'm going to be up to. Have a great week. Happy crafting, and bye for now.